All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody, on a wonderful Thursday morning. It is Thursday, September 14th. And yes, I'm excited. I'm excited about today's session because we are getting a lot of feedback from you. So thank you very much. And I'm also excited because tomorrow morning I'll be leaving for Florida, Orlando, where we have our 3-day live event this weekend. All right. Now, let's talk about what are we going to do today. So, first of all, this is where I asked you if you could submit your questions to, let's see, where do I have my Firefox? There we go, right here, right? So we have rockwelltrading.com/ask Markus, where you can submit your questions that you want to discuss here in Coffee with Markus. And yes, you can also vote on some questions and say, I really would like to hear this. Now, one of the questions that we definitely need to answer is, I'm new to trading. What's the best way to get started? 6 people said they are interested in this. So we will talk about this, probably not today, but we should do that in the next session. Because here's what I would like to cover today. There were a couple of questions about the PowerX analyzer. And so somebody would like to know about IRBT. There was a buy signal, but now the stock is tumbling down. What can we learn from this stock? So we'll talk about this morning, and also the question that is related to this: to buy an underlying stock option of a stock, do we need to wait till the stock hits the price analyzed by PowerX? So we'll tackle these two questions today, and of course we'll look at the markets live. So let's see what is happening this morning. In the upper row, we have the three indices. We have the E-mini S&P. On the upper left, we have the E-mini NASDAQ and the E-mini Dow. And as you can see, all indices are slightly down here this morning. I mean, not a whole lot. The E-mini S&P is down 0.17%. NASDAQ got hit a little bit harder, and the Dow almost around the unchanged mark. Now, on the other hand, crude oil is on fire here this morning, up more than 1%, 1.4% right now, just going up. Yesterday, crude oil inventories were released, and the crude oil inventories didn't look as promising as traders wanted to see it. So this is why yesterday crude oil started rallying, and today extends this rally into the open. We have bonds and gold also pretty much around the unchanged mark, as you can see. So not a whole lot going on here in gold and bonds. Let's take a look at the bigger picture here, and let's take a look at the Dow Jones. So yesterday, almost making a new all-time high. The E-mini S&P made a new all-time high, and so did the NASDAQ. The Dow here right now attacking it today. So previously, let me just mark it here so that we can see it. So previously, let's see, the high was at 179. So somewhere around here. And as you can see, we're just a few points shy of possibly making a new all-time high here today. So it seems that the markets are on fire, right? I mean, so this is where after Hurricane Irma did not hit as hard as expected, markets started rallying again, and now on rather small bars crawling up there. So how do we take advantage of this? Well, one of the ways how we can do this is, of course, first of all, through active day trading. So you can do this, or if you don't have much time throughout the day, then you just watch the markets in the evening, right? Use tools like the PowerX analyzer to make decisions for the next trading day. So let's take a look at PowerX Analyzer. So because there was the question that I definitely want to answer about the stock IRBT. So IRBT was a stock, and the question is, okay, so let me just write it down. Here's the stock. So question, IRBT was a buy, but now it's down. What can we learn from this, right? So first of all, let's take a look at the stock here in a little bit more detail. So IRBT. So this came up, I believe, 2 days ago in the PowerX scanner. Depending on the settings that you have, it might have come up and gave you a buy signal here. Now with this buy signal, we also issued a profit target and a stop loss. So the profit target of $25 and the stop loss of $2.78. Overall, it had 11 wins, 10 losses. So the winning percentage around 52%, profit factor 3.56. So looking at the numbers, everything looked good. Now, looking at the chart, you will see that IRBT has a history of making these erratic moves. See, we had a gap here, we had another gap here, we had a smaller gap here, here's another gap. So it is overall a gappy chart. And you also see that there are some of these longer bars pointing in either way. However, even if you said, you know what, looking at the numbers, it looks good, and overall it looks that it is in an uptrend, so I'll give it a shot. Sure, absolutely, nothing wrong with this. So what can we learn from this? First of all, watch the gaps, okay? But it's not critical. It's not critical. Okay. Now keep in mind, when trading, there will be winning trades and losing trades, right? That's why we use stop losses. Okay. So here, our profit target was $25 to the upside. So actually, we wanted the price to go up to $123. So because the entry, so let's talk about this here as well. The entry was at $98. Okay, so profit target of $25, and the stop loss that you always need to apply, always make sure that you're applying a stop loss, was $2.78. So we wanted to get out of this stock as soon as it moves down to 95.22. Now let's use our handy calculator here and just do a quick calculation here. So the stop loss of $2.78, okay, based on the $98. So we're looking at a stop loss of 2.8% based on the entry price. Now, it really depends how you want to trade the stock. So let's see that the overall risk is $200. And again, the rule of thumb here, okay, rule of thumb is the 2% rule. Never risk more than 2% of your account on any given trade. So if you have a $10,000 account, right, the risk would be 2% of $10,000, which is $200. Now, if you're risking $2.78 per share, so how many shares should you buy? Okay, this is where you take the $200. So let me bring up the calculator again. So $200 divided by $2.78 means that you're trading 72 shares. Okay, so again, you put your stop loss in the market here, making sure that you have that in the market, and then as soon as the stock goes down to 95.22, it is automatically being sold, right? So this is why it will happen that the stock is tumbling down. That's why we want to have our profit target and our stop loss in the market. Okay, so there will be winning trades, there will be losing trades. If you had applied the stop loss, you're not getting hurt here, even if the stock is tumbling down. So make sure that you do that. Is this making sense? Is this helpful? All right, there's a few follow-up questions regarding a stop loss. Okay, so Kevin, for example, is asking, I paper traded this also. First of all, very good for you that you're paper trading. That's what you want to do. You want to trade on paper first. You want to trade on a simulator to get experiences, right? So was up nicely on first day around 750 or so, tanked the next day and hit stop loss. Would we consider a trailing stop or stay positive if the stop is hit? Okay, so that's another great question. So how about a trailing stop? First of all, okay, I don't know how you guys say it here in English. In German, we have the saying, one swallow doesn't make a summer, meaning that if you see just one bird, it doesn't mean that summer is here right now, right? We could also turn it into negative and say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? And this is what I'm doing here. Yes, this stock plummeted. It happens every now and then. This is why we are using stop losses. But as you keep trading, you will see that more often this does not happen. It's a unique situation, but this is why we have stop losses in place, okay? So no worries there. It's all good. I wouldn't change a darn thing. So this is where I also talk to my students in my mastermind, and I make sure that they're only evaluating a strategy after 40 trades. Now, if you consider a change to your trading plan, first of all, take 40 trades on a paper trading, on a simulator, yeah, to make sure that this rule is really good. Now, Kevin, for me personally, trailing stops have never been good. Profit targets and stop losses, the way how we apply it, for me personally, have always outperformed trailing stops, right? So this is all I'm saying here. Don't look at one incident. I mean, if you have been trading for as long as I have, you have seen everything. And these things absolutely could happen here. Anyhow, so don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Yeah, because traders like to do this. Traders like to change. Traders like to change the plan after one losing trade. Okay, don't do that. Don't flip-flop around. Okay, it happens. Okay, so let's see. There is another question. If trading the option, where do you put the stop loss? Can you show how? Well, that is a great question, Debbie. So when you're trading the option, you watch the stock and now you see, oh, you are right now would be stopped out in the stock. This is where the next day, so this means today, you are closing the option. Okay, so that's how you do it. You do not use stop losses with the option. If you're trading options, you watch the stock, you see, oh, right now I'm being stopped out. So now you close the options position. Okay, good. Let's see. There were a few follow-up questions, and there was another question that I wanted to tackle here. So let me just take a brief look here at my charts to see what's going on here. Because I'm also doing a little bit of day trading in the background, because right now I'm having so much fun with day trading. And we'll talk about this probably then the next week again. All right, but let's go back to this and a few questions that we had there. So we tackled this. Okay, now Thomas is asking about the performance. So Thomas said, well, it shows a total profit of $2,323 that it made in the past year. Based on what? That is a great question, and it is based on the settings that you use in your trading account settings. The settings that I'm using here is that I say I'll trade a $10,000 account and I want to risk 1%, not even 2%. I only want to risk 1%, so $100. So if I had traded this stock over the past year, following the rules of PowerX Analyzer, where the $10,000 account, never risking more than $100 a trade, then I would have made $2,323. Okay, is this making sense? So that's what it is based on. All right, cool. So, and Kevin said, agree with your feedback. Also focus too much on the numbers, not so much on the chart itself to see the gap potential. Yeah, and again, it's not a major concern, but what you want to do is when you analyze any stocks after they pop up in the scanner, first, you want to watch for gaps. Okay. Second, you want to look for trendability, making sure that it trends nicely. And then the third is look at the numbers. So for me, it's always the third thing. Before I look at the numbers, I look at the chart and I see, it's a little bit bouncy. There's a little bit too much black in for me. So I might not have even looked at the numbers. But Kevin, I don't want to use here an excuse and say, oh, this looks like an ugly chart. It's an okay chart, right? It's an okay. So it's not a big deal if you miss that there were quite a few gaps, right? This trade didn't work out, which is absolutely fine. Okay, let's see. There's a few other questions. Okay, so Mary is asking, could you please explain why a trailing stop is not the better option than a fixed target? Absolutely, Mary, I'll be happy to do this. Now, with a trailing stop, the idea is that as the prices move higher, you keep moving up your stop loss. You see, these days, stocks are wiggling around. You see here, for example, this little thing, this might have easily taken you out if you use the trailing stop. If we use a profit target, we stay in there. The same is true if you look at other charts in downtrends, whether you're an uptrend or a downtrend. What I experience that these days, markets are more volatile than ever. And this is where a trailing stop gets you out too early. Now, on the other hand, if you set the trailing stop too wide, right, this is what happens then. Then you're giving up a lot of the profits and you're leaving a lot of money on the table. And again, I'm not saying that trailing stops don't work. All I'm saying is that trailing stops don't work for me. And I've used them extensively. I've tested them extensively. We still test them regularly to make sure that this is not the better way to trade. And right now in 2017, based on the way the markets behave or have behaved over the past few years, and I want to say probably over the past 7 to 9 years, this is where we have found that a profit target and a stop loss is outperforming a trailing stop. Make sense? Okay, now Ram is asking the question that we had still here to buy the underlying stock. But first of all, let's make sure. Clarify about IRBT. Are we all good about IRBT of what happens here? All right, good. Because then I will archive this question. And now I want to tackle the other one that we had here. To buy an underlying option of a stock, do we need to wait till the stock hits the price analyzed by PowerX? Short answer, yes, you do. So let me give you an example. Let's see, let's go back. Let's see if we have anything that came up here in the scanner. Today I didn't see anything exciting in the scanner. So SWN came up. So let's quickly load this and see what SWN did. And so when you see that you have a signal, so here, for example, we have a buy to open. Again, I'm not the biggest fan of this stock, and here's why. I see a lot of black here on the chart. So in terms of trendability, yeah, it has been trending down nicely. It's trying to bounce back up. It's not my favorite chart in the world here right now. However, if you choose to trade it before you enter the options trade, you have to wait until we go above 609, okay? So you want to make sure this is happening, that we go above 609. All right, Ram, so this is short answer to your question. You absolutely got it right. You first wait. So here's Asus, another thing that came up in the chart today. Again, very choppy, lots of black bars here, but if you choose to trade the option here, you have to wait until it goes through 1166. All right, fantastic. And so Elke is asking one more clarifying question regarding IRBT. So the total profit of 2,323 in what period? It is the period of 1 year, the past 12 months. Okay, so that's what we are looking at. All right, fantastic. So we tackled 2 of the questions. Please keep your questions coming in rockwelltrading.com/askmarkus so that I can tackle them for you here. I appreciate that you're also voting on other questions. So we will definitely tackling Next week, I'm new to trading, what the best way to get started, and we'll talk about money management with binary options, because this is something that you're very interested in. I'll archive those that we have talked about today. Now, if there's any other questions that you like, please vote them up. If there are any questions that you would like to ask, okay, okay, we tackled this here already. Okay, and we'll talk then about the other questions as they come up here. All right. Now, today is Thursday, meaning that this is the last Coffee with Markus for this week. We always take Fridays off because this is what you should do as a trader. Enjoy life. We'll be back with you on Monday morning, and Monday morning will be live from Orlando from our live event. I know that a few of you who are in here will join us there. I'm very excited to meeting you, and we'll see you then. For the rest of you, you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you again bright and early on Monday morning. Okay, see you then. Bye-bye.